Hello, my friends. Good afternoon. It's a great afternoon for staying inside and being grateful for buildings and closed-in areas. It's getting kind of nasty outside. But this is the 2 o'clock hour on a weekday, and Pastor Lou, that's me. I'm here to engage in a pastor's chat. It's a chance to kind of connect, to make every day count, take stock of the day, and to not just let the days rush by as we wait and hope for this pandemic COVID situation to go away. It came in a hurry, but it's not in any hurry to leave. So we mark the time. And I ask my question, which is, how are you? How are you doing today? I'm sure that your answers these days are different depending upon a whole variety of things that happen and don't happen. But more than anything else, I hope that you could say in some way that you're okay. And what does that mean? This is the fifth day of the Easter season. We are well into the Easter season. We're now looking into the day in our thought, in our process, being followers of Christ, being those who want to walk hand in hand with God through life. The resurrection has happened, and some elements of life itself have been revealed to us as a humanity, not just revealed to us this year, but have been revealed in an actual time and place in history, which, if we listen carefully, could change the way we think about our lives. It could change the way we think about and live our lives. A few years ago, in a reflection very much like this, I talked about the fact that all year long, not just on the days now immediately following Easter, but all year long, we are Easter people. We are Easter people. And what does that mean? Well, historically, what it meant was that we are, in every culture, in every language, those that are affected by the news of Easter and by the power of the resurrection are people who look forward. Actually, we look eastward. We look to the east. And what does that mean? It means that when life is hard or when it's difficult or challenging, we don't look away from it. We are in it. We know it's real. We know that from the suffering of Jesus on the cross. Life can be extremely difficult, and it can be discouraging. Not all news is good news, not by a long shot. We're asked to go through difficult times and to endure. And sometimes we lose. We lose those that we love, or we lose important struggles that we thought we needed to win in order to have our lives be happy. But we are Easter people because no matter how dark the day gets, no matter how difficult it becomes, sometimes not of our own willpower, but because we are part of a community that is to be hardwired this way, we look for the dawn of the new day. We look for the dawn of the new day. Good Friday came, and it wasn't good. Saturday was a terrible, enduring time. Jesus was dead. But on that great getting up morning, in the night, through the night, God had worked a transformation of that which was designed to be painful, evil, had transformed it, had regenerated those ambitions to extinguish love and to extinguish hope and happiness, and had transformed them into a message of life anyway, real life. And so when we say we are Easter people, we are people of the morning. That doesn't mean we're morning people. Most pastors I know aren't. But it means that we are people who, I don't know how to say it in the very, like in our common language, but we are people who, I don't know, we're not optimists. We're not like people who can't see the trouble of life. But we are people who watch and wait for what comes next. Because what comes next, although maybe not the first next or the second next, but the next of the next will ultimately be God at work transforming the brokenness, the injustice, and the evil into something that is good and life-giving and whole. I've shared this before for some of you who've been with me for a while, that so deep in the culture of Christianity, and I do believe Christianity is a culture. It expresses itself in a variety of ways in other cultures, but I think its truths proclaim something that creates a kind of common culture among those of us who believe. And so deep is this culture that for thousands of years, Christians, when they died, were buried so that the orientation of their casket, if you can imagine, the face of the person lying in the casket was looking towards where the sun rises, looking east, to be buried so that on the first crack of dawn of the new life, of the life after death, this person wouldn't be looking the other way. The person who had died would be looking for what was coming next. Wow, what a powerful lesson just in that. Looking for what comes next, and not looking with despair, but looking with eyes of hope for what's new, for what's coming from the east. The sun rises in the east, and from there the new day spreads across the face of the globe. And as the psalmist said, God makes all things new. All things new. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow's tomorrow. But a deeper residual culture of our faith, our Easter faith, teaches us to look for the signs of what comes next, that God is bringing. This, whatever it is not the end. It's not. And I'm not just talking about life after death. I'm talking about the current circumstance, if it is caused by injustice or hatred or greed. That is not the final word. It is not. Watch for signs of how God works. We are Easter people, people of the East. There's a hymn, people look east. Look east. The churches. I don't have my must be 10 after 2. I don't have my mental geography set up right in my head, but to know whether this building faces east, so that this beautiful array of glass which looks out to embrace the sky and to welcome what's happening out there in the sky. I'm not sure if that's an eastern sky. I don't think it is. I think the eastern sky is to my right. But in older times, when churches were located, they were located not because of where the street was or where the sidewalks were, but they were oriented so that the congregation seated together in rows and chairs and seats and whatever, they were facing east. Facing east. Facing east, to watch, to be enculturated in the idea that no matter what's happening today, something new is coming on the horizon, something new coming from love, something new generated by grace, something new generated by God. This is the implication of the resurrection. This is that thing. In fact, the very word orientation, I said that the buildings were oriented. You know that the word orientation begins with the word orient, and orient means east. East. When you're facing the right direction as an Easter people, you're facing east. Because it's from there that the effects of what have happened during the day or what have happened during your life, it's there that the new thing that God is doing is going to make its entrance. You go to a program, a class, even an online class, and usually the first thing that you're going to go through is an orientation. You start a new job. You go to a new senior housing center where you're going to live. You'll go through an orientation. Get you facing east. Get you facing in the right direction so you can see the good things that are coming when they're coming, and that you won't be facing the wrong way when something good and something deep and powerful is coming your way from God. We are Easter people. We are to face east. And what does that mean for you when I ask you how you're doing in your life? It means that it's important to know what's happening right now, but it's also important to think to yourself, which way am I facing? Am I facing west? Nothing wrong with living in the west, don't get me wrong. I did a devotion based on this once in a clergy meeting. One of the pastors that was in town the town had an East Presbyterian Church and a West Presbyterian Church. And he came in as a response to my devotional and said, well, I guess it's not such great news for me in my church since we are the West Presbyterian Church. We are the culture of the East, looking east. So if you were here in the conversation with me today, and no matter what you were sharing with me, as I listen, what I listen for is, what is east for you? What's coming from the east? Not in terms of cheap advice or anything like that, but holding open, that in every day, no matter how troublesome or how difficult, God is at work with something new, moving in your direction. And we've known we need to be looking to the east to see what is coming from God. That's the sense of the resurrection. It happened early in the morning. It comes from where the sunrise comes, where the new day dawns, where the night, which can be full of fear and danger, takes its proper place in terms of life. And as John says, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness does not overcome it. That's a reflection from the Christmas season. But we are people of the East. We are called to be people of the East. So that's my thoughts for today. It's Thursday. Tomorrow, I won't, well, I'm not sure. I may not be able to do the pastor's chat tomorrow. I hope to be back in time. I have to co-officiate a service for the death and and burial of a friend. And so I will be gone. The funeral is at 11. I hope to be back in time to do this chat. I hope that I will be, but if I'm not, you won't wonder where I am, okay? Well, I'm glad you came in to chat today, and I look forward to if maybe we get the chance to talk tomorrow. God bless you, my friends. I'll see you soon.